Good day, everyone. So, today I am going to answer some questions from our ELS 44 subject. And here is my first question. What is considered the downside or effect of early bilingualism? So, for me, in my own perspective, there is no actual or major downside or effect of bilingualism. Early bilingualism, on the other hand, has its downside. So, emphasis on the word early because there is early bilingualism and bilingualism itself. So, acquiring two languages at the same time at a very young age uh, allows the learner or allows the individual an apparent delay in language acquisition. Why? Because he or she is learning two languages at the same time. So it might be different for them to learn two languages. So most especially if uh, his or her first language and the second language that they are learning are different in structure. So also it could lead to interference between two languages such as its phonological feature, lexical features, and grammar system. So, early bilingualism also uh, could lead to possible decrease in vocabularies in two languages. So, because they, as they learn two languages at the same time, they tend to mix up the vocabulary from the first language to the vocabulary of the second language or vice versa because they are still learning two languages at the same time. So here is my next question. What is its benefit or what is the benefit of early bilingualism? So speaking more languages than one's mother tongue makes one more intelligent in general. So it allows us or it allows the bilingual person to see more than one point of view. And that is a definite advantage or a definite benefit. So early bilingualism allows a bilingual person to coordinate two linguistic systems. And some of its benefits are an increase in mental flexibility because learning two languages at the same time requires us to be mentally flexible. And next benefit of early bilingualism is a greater development of cognitive functions related to attention and inhibition. So such as the use of a larger number of cognitive strategies for the solutions of problems. So we can address different solutions to the certain problems according to the two languages that we are exposed to. Next is an increase in the so-called uh, metalinguistic consciousness. So of course, as bilingual person, we already acquire two languages and it will be easy for us to acquire more languages because we are already exposed to two uh, linguistic systems or two linguistic structures. So it will be easy for us to learn another or more languages. And last, early bilingualism allows us to be a better or allows us to have a better ability in communication. So here is my third question. What kind of bilingual are you? So honestly, I do not consider myself as a bilingual person yet because I am not yet fluent with the second most dominant language that I speak, which is English. But I am fluent with the first language or with the mother tongue that I have, which is Bisaya. However, I can speak and understand English in a wide range or in a wide perspective. It's just that understanding some situational problems constructed in English sentences makes me understand it in several times of reading. However, I am going to answer this question in what kind of a bilingual person I would become. And I will gladly categorize myself as a coordinate bilingual, where I am learning a new language or where I am learning my second language or my target language after I have become fluent with my first language. In this case, my brain will work with two separate set of concepts. For example, in our home, we speak our mother tongue, which is Bisaya. But in some institution, like in school, in a community, or along with our friends, we speak a different language. Most especially in school, where some of our teachers or our professors encourage us to speak in English because they have instilled in our mind that we need to be fluent in English because, after all, we are an English professional aspirant. So here is my fourth question. Explain if L1 and L2 are different in structures, problems in L2 acquisition occur. So this perspective is one of the claims under contrastive analysis hypothesis, where it is considered as a strong claim and a negative transfer, where difference between L1 and L2 items leads to interference of L1 into L2, and it could lead to difficulty or problems in L2 acquisition. Why? Because acquiring L2 or our target language, we will have our first language as our basis of learning the second language structures, forms, items, and so on. And if it is different, then it will cause delay or difficulty in acquiring the L2. Most especially if our first language is based on a Roman script, like Spanish, French, and Greek. And our second language is based on non-Roman script, like Arabic, Japanese, or Chinese. Because the same scripture produce almost the same sound. And in language acquisition, it will be difficult to acquire it via sound transfer. So, in SLA or second language acquisition, it is widely found that L2's learners' pronunciation is deeply influenced by their L1, and it deviates the pronunciation of the native speaker. So, generally, the function of L1 transfer plays a very important role in SLA or second language acquisition. So, here is my last and final question. What is considered a major cause of errors? So, the major cause of errors is coined by error analysis approach. And for me, the major cause of errors is the interlingual errors. And interlingual errors involves the errors made by the learner's linguistic background and the native language interference. For example, we speak or we write a sentence on the second language, but we tend to construct a sentence based on our native language. So, errors will occur because there are cases where constructing L1 and L2 sentences are different. Most especially if the learners has a limited linguistic background, and that limitation could lead to difficulty in learning the target language. And of course, what's difficult for the learners to learn is something he or she does not know yet. And with this difficulty, we commit errors. So there is another cause or major cause of errors also, which is called the intralingual error. It is the error committed by the learners when they misuse some target language rules due to some lack of knowledge or lack of information about it. So to sum it up, a major cause of errors is generally the language interference. So it could be the interference from your L1 into your target language or your L2.